What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off this upcoming week, I feel like a lot of people have been kind of very excited about this week in particular because of rate cuts. People have been talking about this for a good 2 months or so. But as far as data points, you do have retail sales coming out on Tuesday. So that very much linked to consumers, and so that's been one thing that has been kind of give or take, but still at this stage in the game, I don't think it's really going to affect rate cuts this time around. You do have housing starts, and then on Wednesday, FOMC interest rate decision. And as of right now, the time of doing this video, it is evenly divided 50-50 for the September 18th meeting, whether it is a 25 or a 50 basis point cut. And so over this last several trading days, more specifically Friday, I guess, there was a stronger likelihood of a 50 basis point. So I think the market was somewhat pricing that in. And then, like I said in my last video, you had some analysts recently kind of just ranting unnecessarily, saying that, you know what, Powell doesn't actually have to do anything whatsoever. So I guess that is an option as well. So in reality, it will all come down to this. This is going to be the deciding factor on what happens in the broader market. If there is a 25 basis point cut, I feel like that still would be good, but 50 would be better. I think that would really propel a lot of growth stocks higher. And as of right now, the November 7th meeting does indicate another 50 basis point cut. And if that does come out, so in total 100 basis points between the two meetings, that might be enough, like I kind of mentioned like a month and a half ago, of a broader rotation back into equities from money markets. Because right now it's sitting at like 6.2 or $6.3 trillion in money markets. They're waiting for kind of the green light from the broader market. So essentially, it is going to be these data points that you really want to pay attention to, and then as well initial jobless claims on Thursday. So I think all in all, it'll be a very fun, exciting, and volatile week. So again, volatility and options go hand in hand. So if you guys don't know options, research them, spend a little bit of time, better yourself as an investor, and because they can be very profitable and beneficial in either direction. Specific to SoFi though, there isn't anything planned for this upcoming week, so it's just merely going to be piggybacking off of the broader market. You will have shorts, no doubtably very active, obviously trying to suppress SoFi. Friday they kind of did admit defeat, so SoFi did get the win for that. So on Friday, shorts did return 371,000 shares. 18.57% of the free float is being shorted and works out to be 194.35 million shares. And that works out to be $1.45 billion. So I think just shorts are very overextended with SoFi and not really justified, in my own opinion. So starting off though, this upcoming week, looking at the open interest, with it very successfully closing above that 750 mark. There's 27,000 at that open interest at that 750 strike price, 7,000 at that 7, then 2,000 at that 650. There was abnormal buying after hours on Friday, so it could be market makers. I don't know if you're going to see that nice corresponding kind of bump up in the stock price as market makers cover that. We'll just have to wait and see what does happen. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. And just again, just to be clear, some people have said, how do I know it is always during the market, or why can't they just roll it over? Rolling over options is very risky, especially for market makers. What if it runs to 8? Because they're basically hedging that now they owe it at 750 or various strike prices. But let's say it runs to 8 to 9. It kind of puts them in a tough predicament. And so you can always hedge, but you're hedging at the current prices. So it's kind of risky for them. But essentially, yeah, it could be done pre-market. It could have been done Friday. It could be done Tuesday, Monday. There's various different things that could lay out. Every entity is different. That's just based on what I've seen on the corresponding Monday, just kind of quick spikes up, all dependent on options. For this upcoming week though, it is a monthly chain, so it is going to be relatively active. So you have 19,000 at that 7, 25,000 at that 750, and then 38,000 at that 8. And if you're very optimistic, assuming SoFi is going to break above 8, 9,000 at that 850, 27,000 at that 9. So all over the place, anticipate a lot of volatility ultimately. So it's going to be a fun, wild ride. Quickly popping over to IBKR though, you can kind of see that based on the Elliott Wave technicals, it did close exactly on this pivot point. So $7.72 is that pivot. For as long as it is above that, then it is anticipated to get between that kind of low to mid 8, so 837 to 876. So very good stuff. Options is very much resemblant based on that as well. And obviously, a flip side, it could very much go down because SoFi did have that very, very nice reversal right over here that is kind of skewing with a lot of the technicals. But all in all, SoFi is very volatile, as you can kind of see. So I'm going to say this now for the second time. Research options. Volatile stocks such as this are gold mines for options. And if you do really generally like the stock, always sell puts, because worst case scenario, you buy it at the price you're wanting to, and you were going to anyways. If not, you get the premium. It's kind of win-win, but no matter what you guys do, whatever floats your boat. So as far as some support and resistance points for this upcoming week, with it at $7.74, it is trading between the R1 and R2. So R1 767 will be a strong support that you want to watch for, and then $7.90 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. On the actual chart itself, it was successfully able to get above that 200-day moving average recently. So as I've pointed out in the past, usually 2 consecutive trading days does signal a kind of a trend. This whole breakout that did happen at the beginning of September, that did have a high, I think, of like 840 or 830 or whatever else, that didn't have that confirmed trend. So again, it's very important to kind of follow the technicals and not to follow into the hype. Again, you guys do whatever floats your boat and stuff like that, but just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points overall. On stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation, plus it is at 42 or 40, so it's kind of level ground, not really considered overbought nor oversold. And number of retail investors did get out slightly on Friday and generally have been getting out ever since it looks like August the 30th, which was the high. But yeah, I think in reality, SoFi's technicals are looking cautiously optimistic, but no matter what, I can rant all day long. I think it will just come back down onto this. Interest rates. And then, of course, after September 18th, the data points, and if that will kind of validate another 50 basis point cut for the November 7th. So I think all in all, it's going to be a fun time, fun ride. SoFi has been showing a lot of good strength. So over the last 5 days, up 8.57. Over the last 1 month, up 17.46. So I think SoFi has been really kind of making its own name for itself, and it's been not really following the trend of the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Have you been a buyer? Where do you see things going, for instance, this week? Do you think that if a 25 basis point comes in, do you think that is going to be more cause a pullback with SoFi? Because I feel like at this stage in the game, a 25 is already priced into the market. I think that's been kind of the understanding for a while. One thing that maybe hasn't been fully priced in is a 50, and especially based on Anthony's last fireside chat, if there is a 50, then anticipate more of a cut in the APY, a significant one in fact. So I don't know how that's all really going to play out, but I think no matter what, with Anthony's latest tweet about kind of them pursuing personal loans, that is a little bit more optimistic for their upcoming earnings, and that is apparent based on this as well. So for their upcoming earnings estimated for the end of October, you do have 8 analysts over the last 90 days kind of revising their earnings per share in a positive way. So analysts behind the scenes are very optimistic, despite their price targets not necessarily as high as a lot of us would anticipate, but analysts behind the scenes are very hush-hush and very positive about SoFi, and it is anticipated for the earnings per share to be 4 cents. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.